Welcome to episode 10, Designing Role-Based AI Agents. We will move from isolated answers to controlled recurring responsibility, with clear sources, standards, deliverables, approvals, and human ownership. This episode builds on practical operations. We now organize repeated work by role so responsibilities remain visible and transferable. Conventional tool use handles a file, task, or answer when needed. Role-based use assigns a defined responsibility, standards, materials, and recurring work. The difference is organization, not intelligence level. An AI agent can organize options, produce structured material, compare information, and repeat a process. A person approves access, content, use, and results. Human authority remains in control. An isolated request ends with one answer. A continuing role maintains defined responsibility, recurring sources, standards, checkpoints, and outputs. The role becomes useful as the work repeats. A subject is not the same as a responsibility. Marketing materials names information, prepare weekly campaign drafts under approved standards names work that can be reviewed. Begin with the responsible role. Ask who will own the recurring work, then determine the files, standards, outputs, and review points required. Group functions into a controllable work area. Define the functions, boundary, role, and controls. One agent may use several functions without becoming responsible for everything. 6 practical roles can cover many beginner needs: marketing, social media, e-commerce, lecture production, product and label work, and analysis. Add roles only when recurring work justifies them. An AI marketing director supports campaign planning and business priorities using customer, product, promotion, and competition data. It produces drafts and recommendations while the owner approves strategy, budget, claims, and execution. A social media AI specialist supports consistent content and response systems. It uses brand standards and performance data, but the user controls accounts, publication, customer decisions, and rights. An e-commerce AI manager supports product and channel operations. It works from verified product facts, platform requirements, and listing standards, while the manager verifies titles, claims, prices, inventory, and publication. A lecture content production AI turns source material into teachable learning assets. It uses learner-level, visual standards, and verified references. The instructor controls accuracy, pedagogy, pacing, and delivery. A product and label AI specialist supports communication and packaging. It needs actual formulas, required statements, dimensions, and printer specifications. Human review protects legality, ingredients, print proof, and physical results. A consultation and analysis AI structures evidence, options, and recommendations. It relies on verified data and stated assumptions. Human judgment interprets risk and makes the decision. Clear roles make output more specialized. One general chat handles every task inconsistently, while divided responsibilities preserve relevant materials, standards, terminology, and review criteria. Organize projects by role and files by topic. The project name identifies who is responsible, file names identify what the material contains. This distinction keeps the operating structure flexible. Examples include an e-commerce manager project containing product templates, a social media project containing platform guides, a lecture production project containing course material, and an analysis project containing reports and data. Use one clear file name rule containing topic, specific content, and version or date. A predictable name makes material easier to find, compare, and hand off. Move existing materials without rebuilding everything. Inventory the source, identify reusable items, map them to the correct role, add missing context, and test the role using real work. Migration moves responsibility without discarding valuable material. Each agent needs an operating package, a role card, source material, work standards, recurring assignments, and an output or report structure. Together they make the role explainable and transferable. A role card defines the role name, purpose, boundaries, required sources, deliverables, and approval points. It prevents a role from becoming a vague collection of prompts. Recurring assignments need clear inputs and outputs. Name the source material and constraints, then define the deliverable, due point, and approval status. Recurring work should not rely on a large unfinished task list. Approval is part of the workflow. AI receives the assignment, prepares work, checks standards, corrects identified problems, and presents the result for human approval before real-world use. Several roles can collaborate without losing ownership. Marketing defines direction, social adapts channels, product supplies verified facts, analysis provides evidence, and operations coordinates release. Every handoff should state source, expected output, and approval owner. The operator's work changes from doing every step alone to assigning, checking, reviewing, coordinating, and deciding. Automation should increase control, not hide responsibility. The user leads the AI team by directing priorities, controlling permissions, reviewing results, coordinating roles, and making final decisions. Agents support capacity, they do not run the business independently. Design one role-based agent. Name the responsibility, required sources, recurring work, outputs, controls, and approval authority. Begin with one role whose work already repeats. Test the role with a real assignment. Provide one genuine task, verify context, compare the output with standards, judge missing information, and record what should change next time. Use this readiness check. Is the responsibility defined? Are sources and standards available? Is recurring work clear? Are approval and escalation visible? Can the operator review and intervene? Create one controlled AI role for work that already repeats. Name the responsibility, supply sources and standards, define approval, and test it with real work. Episode 11 connects several agents into an operating system. The QR code opens the optional companion guide.